We're talking about chapter 7 today. We're going to be talking about body composition and the basics of body composition this week. Normally in the classroom we would be talking about and doing BMI, doing body fat percentage, all of that fun stuff, which is what we do at the beginning and the end of each semester. But unfortunately we don't have that luxury because we are online. So we're going to sift through some of this today, and hopefully you guys get the experience to try some of these things throughout your lifetime, those different things. Please don't forget about your dietary profile. That's due at the end of the week. If you have any questions, please reach out, but you should start. You should start today if you've not started already. It's going to take you at least 3 days to do it. Whenever you download the MyFitnessPal, which a lot of people love, so please don't be discouraged that you have to download an app. A lot of people keep it after the class is over because they love it so much. You should look at the nutrients label. I want the nutrients label. I'm not really concerned about the caloric label, but I am concerned about the nutrients. It should show you vegetables, fruit, protein, dairy, all of that fun stuff. Excuse me. So please do the nutrients whenever you're putting your images on there. So the basics about body composition, you have obviously our bodies are comprised of muscle, bone, fat, and vital tissue. And when we're talking about fat, there are multiple different kinds of fat that you need to be aware of. One is essential fat, and that is essential. We have to have it. So fat is necessary for functioning, so it's found in nerves, bone marrow, cell function, cell membrane, central nervous system, all that fun stuff is where the essential fat is located. And we have to have the essential fat. Storage fat is found underneath the skin surrounding internal organs. It provides insulation, protects organs, hormones, other chemical messengers. This kind of fat is pretty common. We have to have this kind of fat to protect our organs, that sort of thing. Women do hold more fat, and we hold fat in different areas, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Visceral fat. So visceral fat is fat stored around and between the abdomen cavity and organs. So this fat puts more pressure on organs, and it hurts your body, and it hurts your organ processes. A subcutaneous fat is the fat that you really, really don't want to have. It's just the fat found underneath the skin. So that is really the fat that you're carrying around that weighs so much. And an activity that I like to do with a lot of my students when we're sitting in the classroom is when we're sitting there is for you to put your backpack on your front side. And then imagine that much weight that you're carrying just in your front side and how it's going to affect your body composition, your posture, everything else. So if I'm carrying a backpack on my front side, my posture automatically is going to change. So say that I'm carrying all of this weight on my front side. Eventually my shoulders are going to curl forward. My back is going to curl forward, so I'm going to be like the Hunchback of Notre Dame because I'm carrying so much weight on my front side. And that is going to impair your back muscles, your spine. All of your organs are going to take a hit, everything else. So the more subcutaneous fat you have, which is on your front side and your stomach, that's the only place subcutaneous fat is found, then you're going to be struggling. It's going to hurt. Your health and wellness is going to, again, take a hit. So the more you can reduce subcutaneous fat, especially in your abdomen, the better off you're going to be. Metabolism. So metabolism is the process the body requires to function, basically. It's the amount of energy that we expend on a daily basis. So the higher your metabolism is, the better the functioning. The lower your metabolism, the less functioning that there is. And things that increase your metabolism are daily exercise, nutrition. A lot of things boost your metabolism. So water boosts your metabolism. Again, the more exercise you get, the more it will boost your metabolism. So the difference between being overweight and being obese, there is a difference. So overweight category, so technically if we go by BMI, which I hate to do, because BMI is body mass index and it is a barbaric standard, and I'm not sure why we use it anymore. BMI is just calculated based upon your height, your weight. So it's pretty much distributing weight based upon your height, and it's not accounting for muscle or any type of bone distribution, anything of that sort. So my category, if I calculate my BMI, it would more than likely tell me that I'm overweight, and this does not consider, again, muscle. I am not overweight, so I am within my normal range, probably even, to be honest, under my normal range. But for that reason, I don't believe in BMI because, again, it doesn't account for your body, it doesn't account for your muscle mass, it doesn't account for anything, it just distributes your weight versus your height. Now, the difference between overweight and obesity, so there is a difference. There's a nice chart on there to show you percentages and how it's raised in the last few years. Unfortunately, I don't have anything current as of 2012, but I do know that obesity rates are increasing quite rapidly. More people are in the obese category than they are the overweight category. So there are different terms that you should know. So android, which is an apple-shaped, which is typically what postmenopausal women and just in general men are. That means that they are more just like an apple, round. And then the gynoid is the pear-shaped, which is premenopausal women because women carry their fat in their hips to birth kids. So again, men and postmenopausal women are more of an apple shape, and then premenopausal women are more of a pear shape. So we've already talked about some problems that are associated with excess fat, but there are increased problems. So you increase your risk of CVD, type 2 diabetes, cancer, heart disease. Well, I already said CVD, but lung disease. Obesity is the link to a majority of diseases that are across our span. They are not necessarily the cause of mortality, but they're the link to mortality. Body image. I love to do the discussion on body image, and I enjoy doing it in class because we get to have a very in-depth conversation about societal pressures and the expectations and perceptions of what men and women should look like versus what the reality is. Typically in the in-class discussions, we talk about the most attractive men that you can think of, the most attractive women you can think of. So a lot of times we put on the board men, women. Some names that come up are like Chris Hemsworth. Now I'm drawing a blank. Tom Brady. Russell Wilson. There are a lot of names out there that we throw around, just perception of attractiveness, and then we discuss what makes those people attractive. And a lot of times what it comes down to is things that are pushed in our face through social media and through perception of, oh, Chris Hemsworth, he has a six-pack of abs. Tom Brady's really good at football. Whatever it may be. So whenever it comes to body images, when we don't look like that, then we get this negative self-perception of everybody likes them, everybody thinks that they're attractive, so I should look like that, which is typically where body image stems from because we grow up with role models, we grow up with magazines in our face sometimes of we should look like this, but we really look like this. So I do like to have that body image discussion. And I do wish that we could have it in person, but unfortunately, again, we're online, so we can't really have that discussion right now. But in talking about body image issues, there are disorders associated with body image. There's body dysmorphic disorder, which means that you are characterized by extreme preoccupation with imagined deficit. So when you look in the mirror, you see something that's really not there. And then there's muscle dysmorphia, which is a form of BDD, and it's more common in males where you perceive a lack of muscularity, like and you look in the mirror and you see a twig when in reality you're really a bodybuilder. And I do want to say and express that these things are real and they're not a joke, and although I use the portrayal of these photos just to kind of display what is happening and what these terms mean, they're a real thing. Just for instance, and I told you at the beginning of the semester that I would share more about myself. and for you guys to learn about me and for you guys to feel open to share. And if you have any questions, then you are more than welcome to ask me. I have struggled with a mild case of body dysmorphic disorder for a very long time. There was a point where I was not healthy about it. At some point in my life, it definitely took hold of me, and there were definitely traits of eating disorders going on because I was struggling with my appearance. And I share that story because it is a real thing and people do struggle from it. And it doesn't exactly go away. So every day my mind plays tricks on me and thinking I'm much bigger than what I am, I'm much smaller than what I am, mainly bigger than I am. And so it's something that you do have to kind of conquer and ask help for. So if anybody has any questions about anything like that and how I dealt with it, deal with it, please reach out, let me know. I'm more than happy to kind of give you feedback on what I did and my perspective. I do want you to read those fast facts because they're alarming and they're probably more prevalent today with things like Snapchat, Instagram. When we were looking at these facts, those things weren't as prevalent as they are now. So just take a look at those facts and then kind of process them. And I also want you to look at the Barbie comparison. And I know I'm getting more into the feminism part of this and females versus males, but Ken is a big model too. So please don't think that this is just for women. Look at the absurd differences between average and what they're representing in life, like what Barbie and Ken would be. So as a very young child, you're looking at Barbie and you're saying, oh, I have to look like this, like she's a twig and her boobs are huge. And then Ken, you're looking at Ken and you're like, oh my god, his chest is huge, he's got a six-pack abs, he's tan, etc. So those are, again, things that are straying your body image, and they're portraying this image of what you should look like versus what you do look like. In life, like Barbie and Ken are unreal. And I do think that there was a woman, at least in the last semester we were discussing her, that she had all these surgeries to look like Barbie. And I do believe that she passed away recently. I don't want you to quote me on that, but do look at that and see what your thoughts are. If you have any thoughts or you want to share with me, just email me. And then talking about body composition assessment, there are multiple ways to assess your body composition. So BMI, again, is a method to assess your body composition. I don't recommend it. I think it's barbaric. The margin of error is 3.5 plus or minus, so you could be anywhere between 3.5 minus what it gives you and 3.5 plus what it gives you. That's your range. And then skin fold. Skin fold is a measurement. It's right there on the photo of the green thing. You clamp part of your skin down. How much is available is what your measurement is. Hydrostatic weighing is the picture in the top corner. You are dunked into a water tank and it displaces your fat with the water. Bioelectrical impedance analysis is what we use in the class. It's like a video game controller. And then air displacement, which is the bod pod, displaces your fat with air in the bod pod. And then you have DEXA, which is in the bottom right corner, and that's basically like an x-ray scan, scans your body composition. And then methods for assessing body fat distribution, these are important. So waist to hip ratio, waist to height ratio. So waist to hip ratio means that you are measuring your waist. So your waist would be from your belly button around, basically. So you're going to measure with an inch with a tape recorder, not a tape recorder, but a tape measure, and you're going to measure all the way around from your belly button to the top around. And then you're going to measure basically the hips, which is the butt area. You're going to get that circumference, and that's going to be your waist to hip ratio. And typically they'll provide you with a normal range. I did not provide you with a normal range. I do apologize. But you can certainly Google that and find out what the normal range would be and what is. And then the main question is, how do you change body composition? And this whole class preps you to change your body composition. I want you to be aware that you cannot change or you cannot locate where you lose weight or where you lose fat. That's not in your control. Most people say, well, I want to target my stomach. Well, you can't really target a place to lose weight. Weight's going to come off wherever, however, whenever you're trying to do it. Now, you can target and build muscle in a certain area, but you can't target weight loss or fat in a certain area. So changing body composition, exercising every day, exercising regularly, nutrition and diet is very big. Drinking lots of water, getting enough rest, being active, being outside. Being outside is such a huge part of wellness and changing body composition, because that means you're being active and you're doing something positive for yourself. So that's a big thing. Body composition, again, I don't want you to think that it defines you. So whenever you see a number on a page, if you're like me, whenever I get weighed, they can't tell me. I don't want to know. At any given time, I never know how much I weigh. And that's for a reason, because it would not be healthy for me to know how much I weigh. And if you're the same way, then I completely understand. And sometimes you do have to protect yourself, and you do have to protect your mental health if you're aware of that about yourself. So body composition, again, if you would like to have your body composition taken, there are many places out there. A lot of doctor's offices do it. A lot of health departments have some of those things. I have a bioelectrical impedance analysis in my office right here. If you want to come see me, please do. I'm happy to take that for you. I'm also happy to take your weight, your height, check your waist to hip ratio, whatever it is that we need to do. If you have any questions or you want me to help you find somewhere that you can get this done, just give me a call or an email and I'm happy to help. I look forward to seeing you guys' responses. And again, don't forget about your dietary profile. Have a good day.